What is going on, guys? Jesse504 here, and welcome to LBT Playoffs. Sorry that this first video is late. The recording corrupted, and because of the way that I'm doing these, which is blind, I wanted to give myself about a week to forget what happened. So this video is super late, but obviously the next parts should not be. There would be, the next week's playoff video should come out, hopefully pretty soon, and then the finals video obviously after that. But as I said, I will be going into these pretty much blind. Obviously this week is going to be a little bit worse because of that recording issue, but for the rest of it, yeah, so I won't know the sets that anyone's packing. I won't know the result of the game. I won't even know really the leads. These games, obviously I watched them, I also popped in for a little bit before I realized, yeah, I wanted to do this, so I'm going to be not quite as genuine. I'm just going to be open on that, but without further ado, let's just get this first one started. Rematch time, Fatty, Angie, leads. My guess would be a Lbt lead, always a great lead, and then maybe Greninja is another solid lead, but let's see. And we see the Genesect and the Chandelure. So perfect lead for Angie, though. Angie didn't fully prep, just lack of time, which makes this much harder. But Lugia got hit, just small U-turn, and then goes for a Curse, but takes a Sludge Bomb and lands the Poison, which is nice for Fatty. Then just Strange Steams it, hits itself in Confusion, which is unfortunate, and then takes Poison Chip, and then hazes the boosts away, and then gets the Iron Head off, which is pretty heat, but obviously it's a little bit late. This thing is going to go down pretty much to the Poison guaranteed, but Fatty just switches in the Genesect to download an attack boost, which I think is fair enough. I don't know if he's physical or special, but even just a little bit more U-turn chip is helpful. Rocky Helmet and Flame Body kind of cripple that Genesect if it is physical, but in comes the Lando T, and the Chandelure just goes for a Calm Mind into an Earthquake to pretty safely dispatch that thing. And then Kangaskhan comes out, and we see that the Kangaskhan goes for an Avalanche. So through the Yachi Berry, Avalanche can KO because it will hit twice, and then out comes the Blaziken, which is getting a free speed boost, pretty much is what it looks like. SD's up as well, so this thing clearly shows that it is a threat. But out comes this Weezing, which the Garchomp goes for a Sand Tomb, but Levite Weezing is immune and can't really do anything, is blanked, has to go out into the Greninja, which takes a Strange Steam fairly well for what it is, but obviously isn't quite that durable. And AV struggle. Very confused. But yeah. And I was just not really sure what was going on with that, especially in a playoff match. But some iffy prep, but out comes the Muck, and then the Kangaskhan again. Strange Steam, just kind of wearing the team down. Fatty pretty much has this on lock, especially since he's seen kind of the style of the sets. I'm pretty sure based on the Muck's name, he knows it's Explosion, and if I remember that correctly, but Kangaskhan can threaten to clean, but the Genesect Flash Cannons, it is special Genesect, kind of showing itself that, yeah, it's ready to clean, especially with that special attack raise. But out comes the Muck. Obviously this thing has to fear Fire Punch, and so the Weezing comes out. Just goes for a knockoff, which hits incredibly hard, again, for what it is. but Weezing can pain split back up pretty easily, and then the Muck just knocks it off. Again, out comes the Blaziken again, ready to clean, but in goes the Garchomp, ready to stop it. Out back into the Weezing, and the Weezing pretty much walls this Garchomp completely. Pain split to heal back up, and then should just be an easy game from there. Can't touch it. Garchomp eats its berry, still can't touch it. Strange Steam it down. And yeah, Fatty pretty much wins this game. Muck is gonna explode. There's no way it can handle this team, but Fatty just goes straight into the Lunala on that prediction. Yeah, so Fatty moves on to the semifinals, and let's get into the other match, where we see Luke and Shady. Obviously, two very threatening teams. Luke goes for a no Dragapult, no Dracovish week, which I don't know if we've ever seen that before out of him. But obviously, he didn't think that the Dracovish matchup isn't very good. And yeah, that is true when there's a Palkia and a Toxapex and a Koko. So all big threats that a Dracovish would have to deal with. And then just amazing rest of the team. So let's get into this one as well. We see the Nihilego lead and the Koko lead. Depending on what Koko this is either very good or very bad for the Nihilego. If it's physical or special. Just U-turns out, though, doesn't show anything. Luke gets some pretty free chip off. And that's a pretty free U-turn into the Ho-Oh. Obviously, this Ho-Oh is special this week, so this Nihilego is made to tank the special hits, it looks like, and is just instantly threatens out that Ho-Oh. And goes for just the rocks pretty safely, and then Flamethrower doesn't really touch this thing. I think predicting a Ferrothorn to come in. But this thing gets a nice T-Bolt pair really early on, which is really helpful. Out into the Donphan, predicting another T-Bolt. But he just sets up T-Spikes. Luke, great play right there. Getting those T-Spikes up easily, and out comes the Bayonet. Yeah. Rocks up, and then Toxapex comes out on this Bayonet, absorbs the T-Spikes, as the Bayonet just goes for a Shadow Claw. Luke's signature Destiny Bond Bayonet doesn't quite look that good against the Toxapex, but it looks great against the rest of the team pretty much. Baneful Bunker just doesn't work there. And we just get more T-Spikes off. Obviously, they both have T-Spikes and a T-Spikes absorber on their team. But other than that, the defog hazard removal isn't too good. I don't think Luke has any. I think the Kartana would be the only one. And then here the Donphan can spin, but that's really it. Speaking of Donphan spin, Bayonet is a pretty good play here, and Luke goes for it. Donphan could spin, but nice spin blocker here. And Shady can read that, go for an EQ. Out back into the Toxapex again, and we see a Shadow Sneak instead of a Shadow Claw, but doesn't really matter too much. Toxapex can kind of just recover, regen it off anyways. Absorbs the T-Spike, and then Baneful Bunker doesn't matter. And then we see again T-Spike again. They just trade a layer of T-Spikes. Are they going to trade two? I think that it doesn't really matter too much. Just goes back out into the Palkia, which takes pretty big chip from the hazards. And then, depending on the roll, this is a KO or not. We see that it does not quite pick up the KO, so Palkia can go for a Surf. Get some pretty big, nice damage on this Nihilego, but it's kind of dead soon. switches it out so that the Nihilego doesn't get a beast boost, but that just means that the Toxapex is taking a massive T-Bolt to the face. And now he's probably going to switch out the Toxapex for like some regen, maybe into the Palkia, and then there's no beast boost that goes on, which is really convenient for him. But we see, just based on the rest of the team, out comes the Coco. Cool. Nihilego, I don't know if it eats from physical, but I'm pretty sure it can eat from special. It does eat a physical hit, which is really nice, and it can Sludge Wave, take out the Coco, and get a raise in one of its stats, Spadef. Okay. Which, I mean, like, you don't often see a Nihilego raising its Spadef, but it can work in the right situation. And now, T-Bolt, or not T-Bolt, Electric Terrain is up, but this Nihilego can go for more T-Bolts. Unfortunately, he flinches, which means that can't quite get a free T-Bolt off. Goes out into the, I think G-Darm would be a solid play, but just goes into the Bayonet. I assume he's probably just going to go for that Destiny Bond that he always tries to do, but doesn't look like he has it, going for a knockoff. Or potentially just reading a switch, one or the other, but out comes the G-Darm, and now EQ obviously is going to have to switch out again once the other two things come out, the two legendary birds, the Yveltal and the Ho-Oh, whatever they're called. But Icicle Crash Darm pretty much can clean here, although Luke just decides to sack off his Darm and clean in a different way, the Kartana, which can clean here as well. Smart Strike, not quite picking up a KO, but Dark Pulse picks up a KO on this thing, and then we see the Ferrothorn. Obviously, Yveltal's dead to hazards, so no reason to switch it out at this point, and Ferrothorn can knock it off. And now Necrozma. Doesn't look like there's really a way to kill it on Shady's side, depending on his sets. Obviously, Donphan dies to hazards, and if this Ho-Oh isn't boots, it dies to hazards as well. Or not quite dies to hazards, but takes Fat 50. Yeah, and then the Necrozma comes out and can pretty cleanly claim with Power Gem, and that is our second quarterfinals match. So congratulations to Luke and Fatty for making it into the semis, and we get to see two great games next week as well. But until next time, Jesse504 out.